This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com and Equities.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I have a returning guest. They were on my show back in June. We're talking about BioElectronics Corp. You can find them on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol BIEL. And with us today is the Vice President, Sales and Marketing, is Keith Nalepka. Keith, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Everett. Great to be back on the show. Really appreciate it.
Last time you were on the show, we talked about progress. We talked about partnerships. Give us, if you would, maybe a sales update. How is that progressing?
Well, we have some really positive things going on. The first thing on the international front, we see a couple things. One of the things I was charged with when I came on board is putting real life, big time deals on the table. And I'm also happy to say that this week we've literally signed a deal internationally with Mundi Pharma to pick up 5 additional countries. And that's huge for us. What we see, those countries are Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. And what we've repeatedly seen here is big companies coming to us looking for a technology that they can put into their program. These guys have done that. They're going to move forward with a great plan. As an example, what they're forecasting, in the first year is around a little over $1 million in sales. And then, going out almost 5 years, they're seeing a CAGR of about 74%. What does that mean for us? Well, what we're seeing is big companies, and what I really want to do is have big companies come to us and not say, hey, this looks like a fad, this looks like a cool technology, but let's see how it goes for 3 months. I don't want any more of that. What I want is long-term relationships and relationships with big companies over 5-year periods, 9-year periods. That's what we're trying to string together, and that's what we're starting to execute on.
You guys have been coming on my show now for about 2 years, and it was really excited when you guys got the contract with Boots and Brom and stuff like that. So where are we at on the international development? Are we still with them? Are we moving forward?
Yeah, in the UK, we've seen 2 things that have slowed sales. One of them is the NHS in the last couple of months has decided to restrict the amount of knee and hip replacements that are being done in country. This is something that we have no control over, and part of a single payer system is they pull all the strings. So we still have a great partner there. B. Braun is a great partner. They'll continue to be a great partner, but that has impacted our sales. The other thing that has impacted our sales is when we chose to move behind the counter, what we saw was, some of these local CCGs, and a CCG is nothing more than a doctor in a locality making a healthcare decision. And some of those have chosen to restrict ActiPatch in some instances. So really, what are we doing to fix that? So what we're doing to fix that is we still have the strong partner in B. Braun. We also are going to put somebody in country now to go out and access these CCGs and have it, present the clinical data that we presented to NHS that was just absolutely phenomenal, and continue to move that business forward. But, it has impacted sales.
Last time we were on the show and I was speaking to yourself and also speaking to Andy of trying to get something approved here FDA-wise in the U.S. What are we doing to develop the U.S. market maybe ahead of time before we can get this approval? Well,
so there's some really positive developments in the U.S. The first is we have signed a deal with CVS, and that's really going to be a huge inflection point for the brand. It is 200 store tests to start with, but what is involved in the test is what we're so proud of here. The product is going to be displayed on a paddle. Patient can walk into the store, touch it, feel it, see it. That's one of our has been one of the issues in the past is what is this thing in the box?
Absolutely.
The consumer's going to be able to see it, touch it, feel it, and then we also have 3 SKUs set in CVS. So what we're going to do with those SKUs is go ahead and launch. It's a 200 store launch, and the program that CVS is put this on what's called a healthcare beacon. A beacon is something that stands in the middle of the access point to the pharmacy in some cases and has products like ours on it. We will have those 3 SKUs, and the real goal here is when, you alluded to the FDA, and what are we doing? I do not want to be caught flat-footed when this thing launches. We'll have 3 SKUs, and we'll be able to have an immediate impact in retail sales with those 3 SKUs and with hopefully an expanded indication.
Explain to my listeners what's so special about your product. The cost, the price point is perfect, but go over all the things that it really does help or enhance the severity of whatever pain they're going through.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. So, I've worked in pain management for 15 years, and I've never seen a little OTC product like ours that really is at a neat place in really the course of pain management. We are a medical device that's wearable that impacts the way that the brain receives pain signals. And what we can do really with this device is place it in a couple different places to sell it. One of them is in the OTC space. We have very strong clinical data there, but we can also sell into other marketplaces. Another marketplace that we just got that we're really proud to announce is the VA. As of November 14th, ActiPatch will be available in the VA clinic for their osteoarthritis of the knee program. There's 9 million veterans out there, so those people will begin getting access to ActiPatch. Huge win for the brand. That's another huge place that we can place this. But the product really provides dramatic pain relief, and in some cases, limit and spare the amount of opioids that patients can use. So it's really phenomenal in that regard.
Earlier you alluded to 200 stores putting out the product. That costs money. It costs money to buy these products, to put them out. Where do we go from here? What's the game plan for the next 6 months for BioElectronics Corp?
So the game plan really is to hear, hopefully from positive news from the FDA, continue that. Another place that we're going to start selling this is hospice. We've begun discussions with one of the largest hospice providers in the country. There's 1.2 million patients in hospice. Hospice is now able to use products like ours for open wounds and sores under the Right to Try Act. We're going to begin to access those patients. We're going to begin to access these patients in the VA. We're going to continue the ongoing discussions that we've had, again, with best-in-class companies here in the States who are coming to us. We just added another top 5 companies to our discussion list, so to speak, for products here in the U.S. And domestically, our focus is going to be, to ramp up sales and get this product, to mass exposure as quickly as we can. And that's really what our goal will be.
The company that we're highlighting here today on Stock Day is BioElectronics Corp. They develop, manufacture, market, and they sell consumer medical product devices for acute and chronic pain. To learn more about their product, go to BIELCORP.com. Again, you can find them on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol BIEL. Keith, in closing here, what would you want my listeners to take away from this interview?
Well, I think we're on a real changing course here in a real positive way to put forth relationships with major companies like Money Pharma. Money Pharma, the 5 new countries that we're adding to make 6, we'll have access to almost 350 of their professional sales reps out there selling this product, converting sales, and working actively with us. We will anticipate sometime in the near future getting the expanded indication from the FDA, and we're confident that we've presented data that's going to make that happen. Domestically, we have a retail footprint now that I think we can execute on and grow. The VA is a huge win for us. We'll have access to those patients, the OA of the knee patients, osteoarthritis of the knee patients, the amputees that are in there. Hospice has 1.2 million patients, of which we can really confidently convert into sales. So, again, like I've come on the show a couple of times, I think we're stringing together and executing on things that we've talked about in the past. I'm confident that we're going to continue to do that. This product is primed in the right place in pain management, kind of in the course of therapy, and I think it's a really cool technology. It's going to impact a lot of people. We've got the pump primed here. We just need a couple things like the FDA thing to turn, and then we'll be well on our way in 2019.
My guest today is Keith Nalepka. He is the Vice President Sales and Marketing guru, if I may say that, for BioElectronics Corp. Because before he came on the scene, it wasn't doing so well, and he's taking this company, I believe, to the next level. Keith, it's always a pleasure to have you on my show. I wish you nothing but continued success. Please come back on in 30 or 40 days and give us an update of what's going on with your company.
Well, I appreciate the guru. I don't know about guru, but what I am confident in here is our ability to execute. We fought this out with this little product. Andy's done a great job. The team has done a great job. We've got this pump primed, and we're going to execute here with some really positive things clinically, and then also transition that into sales. So thanks for having me, man. It's always a pleasure.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.